The credits rolling right now. Showtime. Tonight was the first night of Can I Be Me, Whitney Houston. I got to tell you, folks, gut-wrenching to watch, but I think definitely needed to be seen. This film from Nick Broomfield interviews just about everybody that along that timeline was friends with her, going back to her early days as a child growing up in Newark, New Jersey. She died February the 11th, 2012 of a drug overdose. And sadly, Bobby Christina, her daughter, a similar fate 3 years later in 2015. Bobby Brown, now remarried with a son and daughter. Her longtime friend, Robin Crawford, lives with her partner, and they have twins. They talked about everything concerning Whitney Houston, obviously drugs, her sexuality. But the thing that you have to remember, just because she had this remarkable gift from God, and she was the first to talk about how it really was baptized in her soul, along with her mother, a great gospel singer, Sissy Houston. She sang in church at the New Hope Church that she belonged to in Newark, New Jersey. Is that sometimes bad things happen to good people. And when you watch this, you have to understand, you will notice things that happen along the timeline that even you as a true fan, and I was, playing her music on the radio, obviously being up to date on what was happening in her life, that you just didn't notice. Because we, like everyone else, were thinking glamour, star, red carpet treatment. And we lose the fact that sometimes, just like you, me, and people who live in your neighborhood, they deal with the same issues. And I know that question of what if, all of that a moot point now, but one of her songs, Where the Broken Hearts Go, was one of my all-time favorites, and I often used to say on the radio, so where do the broken hearts go? They go to the Broken Heart Garage for a little tune-up, and they're right back on the road. But not even as a fan, but just someone who cares about people from all walks of life, and understanding that people who may be more successful and with a few more zeros at the end of their name, it doesn't mean that they escape all of the tragedy that life sometimes brings with it. I don't know if my heart will ever truly heal over the fact that Whitney Houston is gone, but she laid the groundwork for so many great entertainers today, and she came in off the heels of some great entertainers too. But in that time, she carved out her own significance. Her remarkable voice, her style, and her beauty will never be eclipsed. But one thing you have to remember when you watch this, and I'm sure a lot of you baby boomers will, and there are millennials and others who are still downloading her music today, and many that are somewhere right now on a stage in this country trying to be the next Whitney Houston. But as I'm sure she would tell you, don't try to be the next Whitney Houston, just be yourself. True talent like that only comes around sometimes once in a generation. And it's very hard sometimes for all of us to question the greatness and why it's taken so early. Her mother, Sissy Houston, was a part of the group Sweet Inspirations, and she sang alongside Elvis Presley for many years during the heyday of his stage persona. And I'm sure backstage, when the lights were off, she saw things that I'm sure later in life became very similar to her. They were also showing parts of an Oprah Winfrey interview in 2013 that just was incredible, as only Oprah can do, getting questions answered, as was a remarkable interview that they shared in this documentary that Diane Sawyer did. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Houston, a human being with a remarkable gift. But remember, don't judge. Just use one of those God-given emotions that we're so blessed to have. Forgiveness. And understand that maybe you or someone you know, or it could be a part of any of our futures, could be going through something just as tragic. And I have to believe that Whitney Houston was a person who would have done anything to help anyone. It's too bad we can't help her anymore, but we can all learn a lesson. As the title says, Can I Be Me? To Whitney and to others. Why, of course, because that's why we love you. Showtime, right now, Can I Be Me? Definitely worth watching. And I do believe, as they said, she died of a broken heart. And in the end, that must be a very horrible feeling. Good night from the Pratte Pack Gym. Enjoy your weekend.